Listen, welcome back. Please remember to subscribe. I would like to firstly apologize to you, over 200 subscribers. Thank you. We are growing this, but I've been really inconsistent, and I can understand why you're not watching. But watch this to the end. Are you a YouTuber or a vlogger or someone who wants to put content up on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever other platform, but you don't know how to make sure your quality is where it needs to get to for you to be happy with it? Well, stay with me. I'm going to take you through a tutorial on how to change your settings, how to adapt or manipulate whatever tools you have at your disposal to make sure that your quality is A grade, list, standard, whatever term you want to use. Stay with me. Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's TK once again. I have not been here for a while because I am always working. I am sorry. I'm going to try my best to be consistent. We're on level 1 lockdown in South Africa. Wherever you're watching this, let me know in the comments below where you're watching this from. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through a few settings, a few things I do that you guys might be interested in, because I've been getting a lot of messages from people over WhatsApp, over Instagram, asking me why my settings or why my videos look the way they look. You can go back to previous videos on YouTube, or you can go to my Instagram channel at TKOfficialZA. I've had bigger names, small names, people in the industry, people aren't in the industry, people who just have a phone and they're trying to figure out what do I do with my phone to get it to look as clean or as color graded as yours does. So I'm going to take you through a few settings. I don't necessarily know how many points this is, but stay with me. If you have questions, leave it in the comments below. I will try to help you as quick as possible. Chat of the Dog is still coming back. I haven't forgotten about you guys who came to the first feature, What's Your Vibe? We have the recording. I haven't uploaded it yet, but seeing that we're in the season of spring, I will be diligent to make sure I put it up. Number 1, the camera. Please note, these are my personal settings that I do for my stuff. I don't use a phone. I use a actual camera. I use a DSLR. When I'm doing work for clients and stuff, I don't use the camera that you're watching me through now. I prefer at least a Canon 5D Mark IV or a Sony A7S III. Whew! Call me Lord Sony from now on. Sony will change your life. Oh my word. But you're watching this through a Canon 700D. And the first thing I probably need to tell you is the settings of this camera is 1/60 ISO 400, maybe 200, maybe 1, but normally in this room it will be 400. What else my frame rate is 29.97. My colors, my picture setting is on neutral, and my preset, my white balance preset is on fluorescent. Why? Let's start with the frame rate. Frame rate is basically how many pictures are put together to form a motion picture. Hence, movies are called motion pictures. Now, normal movies shoot in 24 frames per second. In South Africa, our shows and series is 25 frames per second. In America, it's generally 24. Some stuff is 23 point whatever those digits are. Other stuff is 29.97. But thank God for the digital space, because frame rates don't necessarily matter. However, my personal settings is 29.97 to give you a crisper, cleaner look, less motion blur on like big and fast movements. I tend to make my colors desaturated, not black and white. Desaturated. So this red you see right now doesn't actually look like that. Let me show you what this camera looks like raw. Yeah, and then once I'm done with the work processing everything, it looks like that. That's what you've been watching. That's color grade, there's camera settings, and that is it. The reason why you want your stuff desaturated is because when you put it on your personal editing software, it allows you to color it the way you want to color it. The things you want to change. You could change anything in the room when it's desaturated. Not necessarily green screen. You can green screen if your software is that advanced, but you don't necessarily need to if your color is that good. The reason why my shutter is 1/60 is because I'm shooting at 29 frames. I'm basically shooting at 30 frames. So the hack is, if you're using a camera, a DSLR, Whatever your frame rate is set at, you can check that in your menu settings. Whatever your frame rate is set at, double that in your shutter speed to give it a bit of a cinematic look. So if there's movement, it doesn't blur as the person moves. You can still follow what's going on. Now, for those of you guys who are watching who tend to use your phones, sometimes iPhones are brilliant in its camera quality and in everything it does. The new Huawei's, the new Samsungs are brilliant. By the way, if you're watching and you hear the Samsung, Huawei, Apple, just send the phone, please. I would like to try shoot content with it and show them that they could probably get the same kind of quality with a phone. If you're using the phone, download the app called Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro. I'll put it in the comment below. It allows you to basically turn your phone into a DSLR, and you can literally manipulate the settings to get the settings you actually want when you're filming. That's the camera settings. Now, moving on to sound. Sound is the end-all and be-all of content creators. If there's no sound, you can't communicate mood, emotion, content, information. Sound is essential. Now, a lot of people wonder, how does my sound like that? Because they can see the camera's at a distance, and if a camera's at a distance and I'm recording sound there, I should sound far and hollow. But I don't do that. I edit on Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro has a tool or feature where you can record voiceover. There is no boom mics here, there's no lapels here. Because you see the laptop here, the laptop actually now functions as a microphone. I use the laptop's microphone and I record it on the timeline, and because I'm so close, it allows me space to EQ the sound. Please remember, when you're doing sound, space is very important on how you edit. If you're in a small congested space, your sound might sound better. If you're in a wider, bigger space, it's gonna sound hollow because you have space. The best way to deal with that is either find a way to close off the room. You can even use your duvet. Use your duvet, put it on a C stand or some stand, and try create a room just to control how sound moves, because sound bounces. It's like a wave. Remember, sound is like pushed air. So if you can control the size of the room, the sound will sound a whole lot more better. That might even give you a bit of a studio feel. See that? Okay, so we're done with camera settings, we're done with sound. Let's talk about lighting. Normally in my settings, I don't necessarily have studio lights with me right now, but I will turn on the lights in the room, and the camera settings will also compensate. And I will sit, like as you can see in this frame, I will sit close to a window because natural sunlight is glorious to the skin. It works beautifully. I would advise sit closer to a window where you can get sun if you don't have light. Now, for those guys who want to find hacks, I've walked into Pick and Pay, I've walked into Game. There are these little lightsaver lights that are kind of been sold for load shedding. It's about 250 Rand. It's LED panels. It's basically one of those you can like put in the passage just to like light up the room so everyone knows so everyone can see. Maybe get that, put that in the side. Like in this case, you can see there's a bit of depth in the shot that you can see light comes in, and because light comes in here, there's bound to be a shadow here. I kind of like it like that because it allows me to show depth in the actual video you're watching, even the focal length. I'm using a 50mm lens, so it allows you to kind of capture how this is gonna look. Editing, how I edit. I edit on software I said earlier, Final Cut Pro 10. A lot of people do speak against it, but if you want something easy to edit on for content creator or YouTuber or whatever, you've got Final Cut Pro. It's not free, but there are free things like Sony Vegas. That's actually all I know. I only know Sony Vegas. I don't know whatever else. If you know other editing softwares, please put in the comments below so other people can know. And that's how you'll get going. The reason why I prefer editing on Final Cut is because it allows me room to create things exactly the way I need to create it. I know a lot of people feel like, other professional editors feel like they can't do what I'm doing on Final Cut. They can do that on Premiere Pro. I can do that because I have in essence, I use Final Cut Pro, I use Motion, and I use, Lightroom where necessary, and I use Photoshop where necessary. It allows me to do all that. But if you're starting this and you're trying to figure out how to do this, Final Cut Pro is enough. However, Final Cut Pro is only available to people who use Apple computers. I think that's it for now. If there's anything you need me to know, if there's anything else you would like to know about how to set this, about how to get started, I'm not talking about the content that you want to put out. You can put out however you want. At the end of the day, phones and technology keeps getting better and more advanced. If you've got a good phone, just use your phone and go. Stop hesitating. Just do it. Nike, just do it. Like, stop overthinking, let it go. It will get better. You'll grow your audience, and people might even want to pay for what you have to offer. And as you keep making money, you can start saving for the equipment you want to get. Listen, I need 300K for the stuff I want to really create. Yes, 300K. 300K? 412, 16. Yes, the cameras I want cost 160K for 4 of them. And that's just the body. And then we need to talk about the lenses. But I'll get there. So I'm using what I have just to get started. I'm going to show you the final images of what I get to do. Once again, I am sorry for being so distant, being away, being gone for so long. Please remember to subscribe, share this with people trying to create content, and I will help as much as I can. And I will do more stuff like this if this is necessary. Put a like, put questions down, and I will do a part 2 if it's necessary. Please remember to follow me on Instagram. I'm more active there than I am on Twitter and on Facebook. I think that's it. Put a comment below, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon.